So we're with Herbert Siguenza. He's a comedian, an actor, a writer, and a producer. He recently voiced two of the main characters in the Academy Award-winning movie COCO, Tio Oscar and Tio Felipe. He has also served as the film's cultural consultant as well. He's one of the founding members of the comedy performance troupe Culture Clash and the San Diego Repertory Theater's playwright in residence. He joins us today from San Diego via Skype. How are you, Herbert?
I'm okay, despite that Trump's here visiting his walls.
Oh, gosh, get him back to Washington where he belongs, right?
Yeah, he's here for a couple of hours.
Yeah, well, it's very interesting. I read an article from your governor, Jerry Brown, that it's very sad that he's actually going to visit a wall instead of going to visit bridges and other things that are really making California great.
Right.
So I don't know what he's going to look at the wall, but good luck to him and get him back to Washington as far as I'm concerned. And thanks for coming on our show. I really appreciate it. Tell us, now, you were in this amazing movie, COCO. You voiced two of the main characters. You were also one of the cultural consultants. But let's just take us back a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your immigration story first.
Well, my parents are from El Salvador, but like most people from El Salvador came in the 80s during the Civil War. My parents came in the 40s.
Wow.
So they're one of the first,
Maybe they were the first, even possible.
I think they were the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, very few families from El Salvador back in the 40s. But my dad actually met my mom in San Francisco in the 40s after he got out of World War II, and he was enlisted. And then they went back to El Salvador, had my brother. Then they came back, and then they had me in San Francisco.
And that's actually very interesting because he met a woman. Your dad who was from El Salvador, met a woman from El Salvador. I mean, what are the odds of finding that in California in the 1940s?
Well, I guess it was like a rooming house or something. We're Salvadorian,
right? With a whole bunch of Salvadorans. I have a whole other story about how this law firm started immigration. It started a rooming house with Trinidadians, but that's a whole other story for another day. So now, how did you get involved in COCO? That's like an amazing thing. I mean, to be a part of an important part, not just a secondary part, but a very important part of an Academy Award-winning film.
Well, I was a little nervous. I got I was flown up to Emeryville to be a cultural consultant. And, we were already a little weary. Disney wanted to copyright the actual word, Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. And the Latino community went crazy over that. I mean, that's like...
Of course, it's like saying, like, I want to copyright Halloween. It's like there's only Halloween in Disney World and nowhere else. Can you just explain to some of the viewers who may not be Latinos, what is this day?
Yeah, Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, is basically November 2nd, where families go to the cemeteries or build altars commemorating someone who has passed. And basically, it's just a day to remember people who were in family that have passed on. And that's basically.
And now you came on board. They asked you to come on board after they tried to actually copyright this day themselves. Yeah, what was your first thoughts, and how were you convinced to come on board, and what did you do to make this movie so culturally on mark that it really made it into an Academy Award-winning film?
Well, I felt more comfortable because I recognized some of the other names, some of the other cultural consultants that I have tremendous respect for, and so I went up there and I saw everybody, and basically what they did is they showed us a mock-up of the movie. They showed us the script. It was narrated, right. And we saw the movie in a very sketch form. But I enjoyed it very much, and I thought, oh, this is going to be real special. And we all gave our 2 cents, what we thought might work better or more accurate.
What was your 2 cents that you changed in the movie? A lot of people saw this movie. What did you change in the movie that somebody who watched the movie could see and say, wow, I remember that scene?
Well, not just, it's real subtle stuff, like just how a kid would address his mom, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. In American culture, we're much more casual about it.
Right.
But in Latino culture, you have to say mama, you don't say Maria, you say mama, you always have to, respect your elders. But they really got that in it's a very authentic film. I really love what they did with it. They consulted with culinary experts, musicians, comedians. They just consulted with everybody, and that's why I think they got the culture real right.
And what do you think of the final product? You think it was deserving the Academy Award? I assume you were part of it.
I think so. I would have been thrilled anyway, but to be part of it is really an honor. But I think the movie is beautiful. It's just really, really beautiful.
So do you think that this is going to make any shift or change in people's opinions about Latinos or Latino representation in film? You don't see a lot of Latino blockbusters these days.
No, you don't. No, this is a tremendous triumph for the community. But, I've always said, unless we're the writers, unless we're the producers, unless we're really the people behind the scenes, nothing's going to change. I think this was a miracle. This is great. Disney did it, but it's still Disney. It's still, we know who's in power. Representation is not just on the screen. It has to be, representation is behind the screen. That's really when things change.
I think maybe when you see a Latino superhero starring in his own blockbuster, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe he's bald.
Maybe he's bald, right? And his parents came from El Salvador. You never know. What kind of changes, in all honesty, what kind of changes do you want to see in the movie industry? You want to see Latinos more in the executive roles rather than in front of the camera? You think that's really what's going to make the difference?
Oh, that's the difference right there. I mean, you go into a studio, you don't see people of color. You go into meetings, you see young guys that graduated from Yale and Harvard, and they're well educated, but they have no cultural sensitivity, no cultural awareness of Latinos. So a lot of stories are based off this ignorance, and so we have to change that. But we have to be around the table. Otherwise, things are not going to change.
Do studios have jobs for cultural consultants, or is it on a movie-by-movie basis?
I'm not sure about that. They might have some cultural consultants,
but they haven't really done anything to really move the needle anywhere.
Right. In this case, they did. They spread a wide web, and they got a lot of people.
So, how did it feel to walk the red carpet? I mean, I assume you walked the red carpet. Were you at the Academy Awards too, or no?
No, we went to a pre-Academy Award party. But there I am with my family. The red carpet was at El Capitan, which is a theater in Hollywood. And you know what? It was all worth it. My daughter, Belen, was just beaming. And she was so great on the red carpet.
Of course. She was so proud of her dad, and you have a beautiful family. Yeah. What was it like to voice over characters? Did they show you? Take me through what like a day was voicing over a character for a major blockbuster movie. Did they show you the animation as you were doing it, or you had no idea what the character was going to be doing, and you just had to take a guess? Did they make you do it in different voices or change in your tone? How did that all work?
Like I said, the month before, I had seen a mock-up of the film, but just drawings of my characters, Tío Felipe and Tío Oscar, who are these slender, long guys that don't look anything like me.
Right. So you actually had to really make up their personality then.
Yeah, I really had to come up with my own voice and or voices and slightly different, but not really. And come up with something. There was no animation, so they really animate to your voice.
Wow,
that's what happens, and you're by yourself. It's not like you're interacting with other actors.
Now, you've been an actor and a comedian, and you've been in the entertainment field for I would presume most of your adult life. You're part of this group, Culture Clash. Tell me what that's all about.
Well, Culture Clash is a 3-man comedy group. We've been together since 1984. Founded in San Francisco. We moved down to LA, and we've written many plays over the years. Been all over the regional theaters, been all over the country, and for a little bit, we even had a TV show on Fox called Culture Clash in the early '90s, during the same time as In Living Color.
Right. I vaguely remember something like that. It was like right after, right?
Right
Right
after.
after,
Yes.
yeah, I vaguely remember. You were fantastic in that, by the way.
Thank you.
No, I remember the show. I don't remember who was in it. I'm making
So
a
we,
joke.
we,
Yeah,
we flirted with
right,
Hollywood,
right.
but we always go back to the stage because we feel that on the stage we're in control of the writing of the production, and we're able to get it right. Otherwise you're dealing with a lot of people who don't know about the culture, and I don't want to waste time.
So what are you working on now? What are you excited about working on right now?
I'm the playwright in residence at San Diego Rep. I'm just going to open a play called Beach Town in a couple of weeks, and it's a very interactive play, immersive, where the audience is a big part of the results of the play. So they really play a big part in the play. They are the play.
So what is it about it? What is it about, and how's the audience get involved?
Yeah, Beach Town is a fake town called Beach Town, but it's much like San Diego, right? People will recognize a lot of the similarities. And we have a time capsule celebration where we vote out an artifact that no longer represents the community, and we vote in a new artifact that represents us now. How do we feel about things now?
So give me an example of like I assume you've done some previews. What has been voted in? What's been voted out? What's kind of like the tone of the audience? What are they liking and what are they disliking?
Yeah, we talk about contemporary issues. Maybe we vote out something like an apron, which represented like assimilation of foreigners at some kind of hall, and we might vote in a tiki mug from a gay and lesbian bar that was very popular in the town, for example, or a military ID. This is a big military town, but we also have an LGBTQ community,
right?
And so we have we talk about all these issues about identity, about immigration, about environment, all the things that affect San Diego.
And do you find that the audience is more liberal and accepting of people who may be different than them, or do you find it more Trumponian of like they're less inclusive?
Well, the most important thing is that we're all in the room talking about it. That's, I think, the most important thing about it. Whether you agree or not, it doesn't matter. You're there in the room and you have to listen and you have to engage. And I think that's what we need in this country more and more. We're just not talking to each other. We're more polarized than ever, right?
Of course, yeah.
And I think part of the reason is just we're not sitting down facing eye to eye, face to face like you and I right now, and just talking about it.
Right, I agree. So let me ask you this. Well, before I let you go, this is a show about achieving your American dreams. People, especially people of minorities, people who are first generation or maybe even second generation here in the United States, like yourself, achieving their American dreams. Tell us, have you achieved your American dream? And if so, what is it, or what are you still trying to achieve?
You know what? I think I have. I've always considered myself free. And so, when you have that attitude of freedom, that you are able to be free, and as an artist, you especially have to feel free. And I've been free to do my art. I've been free to write and produce the things I want. And that's why I stay in theater, mainly because I don't want to waste time, trying to get a film on, that takes 10 years. I'd rather write a play that'll take a year or 2 years to get on. So I've been really successful doing theater, and I'm very proud of that. And that's my American dream.
That's fantastic. I got one last question. Just popped in my head right now. I assume the characters that you played are like in toy stores. You take your daughter to a toy store, you see your character that you played. How does it feel to be like an action figure in a toy store?
Yeah, well, I am already an action figure, right? I did a movie called Ben 10, Alien Swarm, and I played the bad guy, which is great. Bad guys are always fun.
Right.
And
I played you look pretty scary there.
Yeah. And so, they made an action figure out of him.
Oh, they did?
Okay.
And did they make an action figure out of your characters in COCO?
You know what? Not yet.
Oh no!
Not yet,
I would have thought that like your daughter goes into the toy store and says, "Oh my God, there's Daddy."
Yeah, I think the second round. Right now they concentrate on the main characters.
Right.
Second round they'll have the other characters because I am part of the. Yeah.
Right. Well, Herbert, you were wonderful to be on our show. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so
much. Best of luck on Beach Town. Where, if somebody's in the San Diego area, you want to tell someone where they can go buy tickets and go see you?
Yeah, SanDiegoRep.com.
All right. Thank you very much. Fantastic. And congratulations on the Academy Award.
Thanks a lot. You're doing a great job.
Appreciate it. Thank you.